Like you, Mel?
Ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Guten Morgen, AFC Bournemouth fans, and welcome, willkommen bei Cherry EM am Morgen, nachdem wir erfahren haben, dass Thomas Tuchel der beste Trainer als Zeiten ist und England gewinnt die Fußball World Cup. I'll stop the German now. Do you know what? Google Translate is a great thing, isn't it?
Why didn't you ask me? Good morning, Craig. Good morning, everybody in the chat.
Good morning, Malcolm. How are you doing?
Mir geht's gut, danke.
Good.
So
I
well. Yeah.
good, danke. Yes.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. Maybe I should have, what do you call it? Instead of searching up swear words when I was in German lessons, should have actually done some work, shouldn't I? Really?
It's the first things I learned here.
Yes.
Everything that's not good in language, you learn first. Yeah.
Exactly. Let's go through the chats and we'll just quickly touch on the England performance. Of course, there was a Cherry who was playing for the opposition yesterday, but Darren Hurst has said, "Good day, Craig." I can say that one, see. I can talk Australian. Good day, Craig and Malcolm. 27 degrees and sunny, 3 p.m. afternoon. After a bitterly cold 4 degrees start here in Perth. I can't really do Australian over, can I?
I'm saying nothing. Good morning, Darren, mate. How you doing?
Good morning, Darren. Good morning, says Chris Hubble and everybody up the cherries.
Morning, Chris.
Good morning, Chris. Hope you're doing well, mate. David DaCosta's in the house. He said, "G'day from Melbourne, 13 degrees and cloudy. Morning all, and good evening to all my Oz pals, Paul and Darren." There we are.
Hi, David.
I'm going to stop with the Australian accent now.
Please do, Craig. Please do.
Paul has says, "Hi guys, 9 degrees, wet, windy and horrible. 1.5 hours from Sydney."
Morning, Paul. Hope you're doing well.
9 degrees, Malcolm. I still can't get this through my tiny little
Don't even think about it, Craig.
It's meant to be hot. It's meant to be year-round barbecues in Australia. You know, Matt has tried to explain, though, the world and how, in their winter, it's summer, winter.
Obviously, you weren't listening.
No, I wasn't. Talking about Matt, he is in the chat as well. Dan Short says, "Good morning, Craig and Malcolm. Well done, England and Hamworthy United last night." I haven't followed the Hamworthy United score, but do fill us in, Dan. Good to see the local team, doing well as well. So, yeah, very, very good to see that. Mr. Matthew Harrison, there we are. Here he's in. It says, "Morning all. Thunderstorms here in Poole overnight." Yeah, it was meant to be really.
Morning, Matt.
Wasn't it? Lightning as well, I think. I think it flashed up blue. That's normally what happens. They don't get that in Australia. Um, Matt has said lateness as well. Malcolm, you was here bright and early though, wasn't you?
I was, yeah.
Who wasn't?
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, as always.
Who wasn't? I wonder.
I think somebody was talking.
Yes.
Hint, hint.
Yeah. Yeah. We know who that is, Malcolm. Darren Hurst has said, "Well done to England, indeed. But shame for Petrovic. We will cover that off as well." That's gone up twice. That one. Shame. There we are. Got the words out eventually. Auto predictive texting. I know what it's like. It's a pain in the arse, isn't it? What do we do without all this technology?
I'm saying nothing.
Nokia 3210. Liam Humby, the owner of the first AFC Bournemouth shirt this season, says, "Morning, everyone. Up the cherries." A good morning, Liam. Hope you're doing well,
Morning,
mate.
Liam.
And who's Shane Petrovic?
Cheers. Nice one, Matt.
Paul has said good morning to Matt and Dave. And Trevor Guards, hope you're doing well, Trevor. Has said,
Morning, Trevor.
lads. Hope you're doing well, Trevor. Malcolm, take over with the German. Yeah, Matt. I think was my attempt good, Matt? Was it? How do you say very in German?
Sehr.
Sehr. Was it sehr good? Sehr good?
Es war schlecht. It was bad.
It was terrible. I'm blaming Google Translate, but
Like I said, if you wanna know anything German, just ask me. I'm not an expert, but I can talk it.
We will get Malcolm to open up the show in German next time England win, or if England win the World Cup, we'll do the whole show in German. Shall we?
No. Oh, no.
Sean says, "Hello, peeps. Hope you're doing well, Sean."
Yeah. Good morning, Sean.
Matt says, "You sound like an Australian with a bad cold, mate. Maybe need to get Foster's and shrimp on the barbie." Although saying that, they don't drink Foster's in Australia. This was kind of a lie that I was given all those years ago.
Wait, is this a football show?
It is a football show, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll start talking about sharks in a moment.
Please don't.
Stick to talking English.
Yeah, thanks, Trevor.
I can't even talk that properly, to be fair, Malcolm. Could I?
I'm saying nothing.
I
don't want to incriminate myself.
I know my limitations. David DeCosta said, "And good luck to Forest. He'll always wins in his second season, the championship."
I think we might touch on that a little bit.
Yes, we shall do. We shall do. Malcolm, he never listens.
Yeah,
Someone
I have noticed.
Not Craig, surely, says Matt. Yeah. All right. Pack it in. Didn't watch the England game, but will the next one where Wales will beat England? No, not in a million years.
Pass on that comment.
Yeah, let's pass on that one. Thanks, Sean.
How did Wales get on last night? They played Canada, didn't they? In a friendly?
They did, to be honest. Let's have a look. Here we go. They got beat yesterday.
Oh.
Yes.
How many?
1-0. 1-0.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. A Derek Cornelius scored after 41 minutes. There we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Don't ask.
I didn't know. That's why I asked the question. So
yeah. Matt has said, "Morning all in the chat," and Paul Sant's in the house. He says, "Good morning, everyone."
Paul.
Craig, I will grade your attempts when I see you. I won't embarrass you on here. Yeah, I can imagine it's. it's probably starts with an F, the first word, and the second word is terrible. They probably do it in the same sort of context as I don't know if you've seen the In-Betweeners, Malcolm, but like
No.
Foster's is a myth, says Matt. We are going to become a beer channel. Drink responsibly, remember. Darren Hurst, Sean, only when Ben Doak will be playing for them. Oh dear, yes. Yes, Sean, Ben Doak, he's Scottish, mate. He's Scottish. To be honest, it did leave a bit of a chuckle, actually. Right, well, I think we're up to date with the chat, but England, England, 5-0 against
Well,
Serbia. Where the bloody hell did that come from? Because, the Andorra game, if I was really tired, would have sent me asleep. And then they seem to have turned it on a bit.
yeah, it could have been a banana skin, couldn't it? Hostile crowd, etc.
Yes.
But obviously not seeing the game, so sorry. But read the reports, saw the goals this morning. Exactly what we would have probably expected against Andorra, to be honest with you. But certainly, it's rifled the journalists a little bit, hasn't it? Something else to write about.
Yeah, I think after, and probably rightly so, after the Andorra game, because Andorra are relative minnows in world football. Let's be honest. We were all thinking, well, this Serbia game might actually be really, really difficult. And I don't know about you, Malcolm, but I just don't get excited for all these, qualifiers anymore.
No, it's. I mean, they have to be played, don't they?
Yeah.
And I think it's a bit of a farce, really, to be honest with you. No disrespect to the other countries, all right, but it is the World Cup.
Yes.
Everybody has to go through a qualifying round. There's no seeded nations or anything, so in qualification. So yeah, has to be done. It's very disruptive, obviously, for all the leagues throughout Europe. You just get your league started, and then there's an international break. We've got another one coming up in October, and thankfully, then we can actually roll on through the winter months. Yeah, but it's it has to be done. Do they experiment? Do they not?
Well,
I don't. To be honest with you, I'm glad when I looked at the lineup yesterday to see names that wouldn't normally be in there, and I was just thinking, great, it's about time, because there's too much hype on certain players. They haven't got a divine right, and to be honest with you, there are too many egos for my liking. How do we want? If you want to make a comparison,
yeah.
Look how Bournemouth played at Tottenham. A dominated display, and that's what you would expect from an England team, and they actually did it last night. So, there's got to be a lot of food for thought for the setup in England at the moment. But I'd like to see them carry on with it, with the starting 11 like they had last night. The young lads, they proved their point, and they stuck to the game plan, which was really, really good. And 5 goals, crikeys! Wow.
There's definitely a shift now, Malcolm. I think we've got so much abundance of talent in this country.
We always have had Craig, but it's never been used properly.
No, and maybe I know that I've been very critical of Thomas Tuchel on here, and I turned around and I said he's not going to win a single thing. Maybe there is something which he is trying to do, which no other England manager has done, and that is utilize this squad in the right way, to get the very best out of them.
Yeah.
Morgan Rogers, for example, in that centre of midfield, we could have gone with the easy option, and everybody knows what the easy option would have been. which is Bellingham. But at the same time, Morgan Rogers has shown that he can actually do it, for Aston Villa. When he was here, I'm surprised actually how far his career's jumped on. Because I didn't think, in all honesty, when he was here, I didn't see what he was going to do at Villa, and now he's got himself, in the England setup, and I don't think you can really change a side when they've got a result like that. And in what you would say, don't get me wrong, we've probably got, the luckiest group we could have got, to be all honesty.
I mean, we've got a really decent squad, but that's going to have
Yeah.
to be whittled down at some point.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And maybe Tuchel is trying to actually work out, who is going to fit within that. And, utilizing all these players, which you would say are fringe players. And I might be completely wrong again. Hopefully, I am completely wrong again, because at the end of the day, I was the idiot that
Please
turned
be
around.
wrong.
Shall I just keep knocking Thomas Tuchel for a bit? And,
No.
just
Can we
hopefully
move
it'll
on?
have the same effect as when I said all those stupid things about Andoni at the start. Oh, I don't think we've got the players. The tactics are good, but I don't think he's going to work for Andoni Iraola here. I'll shut up now. I won't
Thank you.
embarrass myself anymore. Trevor has said, good game by England, good flow in football. I thought, to be honest, my question today is, with Nuno being sacked by Forest and others like Potter in West Ham, what is it with managers being sacked? I tell you what, let's just have a quick look before we jump on to that point. We'll jump on to that point next. We was going to mention one of our own players, but we'll touch upon that. I'll just run through the rest of the comments for a second. Wales lost 1-0 and Hamworthy beat Ringwood 2-1. There we go.
It's exciting.
The Forest chairman has had 8 managers in 8 years. Is it always the manager? I think not in Forest's case. Again, we'll touch upon that. One blooper by Jordi Petrovic. You know what? I
It's a
don't
tough
think.
call. It's a
Yeah,
tough
I
call.
don't
Is he
think.
referring to the parry, the shot that came in?
I think probably. But let's be honest, we bombarded them. We bombarded Serbia, and the quality of the stuff coming in was very, very good. Jordi Petrovic is an outstanding goalkeeper, and that defeat is not on him. It's more on the Serbia quality, really, which has actually fallen. Maybe it's not going to be too long before our new defender gets his game for the Serbian national team. We shall find out. Darren Hurst has said, Paul, he got the highest rating for their players on SofaScore. Yeah, I think, to be honest, Jordi Petrovic, you can't blame him. It's the last line of defence, and we did open them up. Matt Harrison said, much better performance. Love seeing how Elliot Anderson is developing as an international.
Yeah, very good. Mm-hmm.
Best England have played for a long time. Annoying thing for me was Morgan Rogers. He was fantastic. If only we had Andoni in charge when we had him on loan, we would have kept him, says Paul Sant. No. We was in the Championship, so at the end of the day, I don't think it was ever going to happen, was it, really? And Matt said, agree, Paul. Parker didn't know how to get the best out of Rogers, and Donny would have done. Yeah, I agree with that. Don't you?
Yeah, it's just one of those things. You can't change what's happened, can you?
No. I don't think we would have ever kept him, because at the time we were in the Championship. We didn't. Maxim Denham is a great chairman, or was a great chairman for this football club, but his pockets were only so deep, and I think it would have taken a lot, because I know that he was so highly valued before he come here. So maybe it would have been very difficult, but at the same time, what he's done for Aston Villa is absolutely fantastic. Shauna said, correct me if I'm wrong, but Scott didn't play for the under-21. Any thoughts why? Yeah, I noticed that.
They did have a different lineup. The players that were missing from the Euros, they were playing, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Yeah, so Harvey Elliott wasn't playing either. So, yeah, strange. But okay, good. It is what it is. So he'll be training with whoever, else was left here. Good.
Matt said, remember the so-called golden generation under Sven? Agree, Mal. Talent has always been there. Sadly fell short in 1996 and under Gareth. To be honest, I would have said, back in 2002, if Sven had got us past Brazil, we would have won that World Cup. I'm sure of that. I'm sure of that. But, we can't talk in ifs, buts and maybes, can we, really? It's what happens at the end which really counts. Too sure if spelt right is a winner. He's a proven record, but can he transfer that to international football?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Club football is one thing, being successful, but on an international stage is something totally different.
There seems to be a buzz in the room, and there is now a buzz in the room because we've got Chris from Leicester Till I Die. I hope you're doing well, Chris. He says, "Good God, I'm waking up with Paddy. I tell you what, that would be a bloody nightmare if I woke up next to you." We'll park that there. You sure are, Chris. Paddy's Farm morning breakfast show.
Morning, Chris.
Have you ever seen, Emmerdale?
What's that?
Oh, it's a soap. To be honest, Chris watches it.
Oh dear.
There's a guy called Paddy on there, and he looks nothing
Oh,
like me.
are we being distracted again here?
We are. But I blame the viewers, and in particular this man. LOL, Matt. Paddy has a hand in everything, literally.
Yeah, can we move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
Please.
I think Rodgers was recalled for lack of playing time, if memory serves me right. Yeah, I think I think that's spot on. Actually, I think that's spot on because Parker didn't really play him, did he? Brought him off the bench a couple of times.
Hard to recall. Sorry.
So I hear, Chris. Morning, Craig and Malcolm. Good week internationally for England and Scotland. Ben Gannon-Doak looked great for Scotland. Yes, he most
Morning,
definitely
Doug.
did.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, he had a good. They had a good write-up about him on the sports page yesterday. So, yeah, excellent performance. Apparently,
Chris Hubble said hi, Matt. Matt has said hi to Chris. And the Dugout Football Channel, I can't see it myself, Craig, the Paddy thing. See, Doug's my best mate.
I'm lost, Doug. Sorry.
Yeah, to be honest, thank you, Doug. I tell you what, you're all right, but Chris, he can bugger off back to Leicester till I die. He's Championship anyway. We're Premier League, as are you. And morning, Doug says, Matt, great win for England last night, says Chris. Morning, Matt, says Doug, and hope you're well, mate. Right, cool. So there we are. We're up to date with that. But let's touch upon this Forest situation because I know that it was touched upon yesterday. Nuno Espirito Santo was sacked by the club after getting them into Europe, which is absolutely bizarre. What do you make of Forest and this merry-go-round of managers?
I can only shake my head in disbelief, to be honest with you. If there's conflict there, then you deal with it behind closed doors. You don't put it out in the press. You certainly don't do things on the touchline. So there was only going to be one outcome, but the list of managers is ridiculous. What they've had in over the past years.
And he's appointed Dan.
Yeah. Now here's a nice little I suppose, a fact if you want.
Go for it.
So all the troubles that Ange had at Tottenham, and he actually won the Europa League.
Mhm.
All right, they were absolutely awful in the league. Great side to play against, but now he's going to Forest. Is he going to go and win the Europa League again? And that their league form is going to dip
Mm.
because it's the stars he plays, and it's going to be totally different. It's going to be interesting, definitely.
Yeah.
But it came as no surprise, did it? I mean, he was odds-on favourite, and the deal was probably done anyway before Nuno got shown the door. So, but it must be a real headache for the fans of Forest. You want somebody in who's going to be kept, you know, and have a project. Like we got a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
Now, how many other Premier League clubs have got that? Not very many.
The thing
Do they
is,
take it?
well,
Do they take it season by season?
you take, what those players would have been thinking at the start of the year. They had a really good season, their best season for donkey's years at Nottingham Forest. And then they've sacked the manager who's got them there, after, and let's be honest, they've not got off to the worst of starts. They haven't got off to the worst of starts at all. To be fair, they were hammered, against West Ham, but
Yeah.
they are probably where you expect them to be at this early stage of the season. One win, one draw, one loss. Albeit, yes, that loss come against West Ham. Was it already decided before that West Ham game and, heads went down? And this is the thing why, we're in such a good position is because Andoni Iraola is an honourable man. He will not jump ship from this football club throughout the season. He signs these deals at the end of the season. I know that there's been all this rubbish about, what's going on with Andoni's contract, which will come on to a contract for another player in a second. But he's an honourable man who sees out his contract and then decides, in the off season when there is going to be the least disruption to our football club. And Nottingham Forest now have got tons and tons of disruption because you've got a new manager who is going in there, and I really like Ange as a person. To be honest, Ange Postacoglu, he comes across as an absolutely lovely man. However, it's going to be very, very disruptive for that football club, to have new philosophies, new ideas imposed. And that's why, you know, I am absolutely delighted with how our club's managed, appointments in the past. Yeah, I know Scott Parker went very, very early on in the Premier League season, but that's of course because of what he said. But at the same time, we stick by managers. And we get the right caliber of manager who are honourable people, don't we, Malcolm?
Think so? Yeah. I mean, it's very obviously since Bill came in, things did change quite quickly. But he's got this vision, and he set his stall out and said what he wants. There was no heavy fists on the table. It was right. This is the plan. This is the way ahead, and this is what we're going to do. And
Yeah,
despite the very shaky start from Andoni, they stuck with it, and that's what you got to do. You got to have the belief, and just give the guy the reins to do the job. And he's obviously proved now beyond any doubt, that he is and was the right man for the job, and he'll just keep us going forward. So if there's ever any speculation or talk about Andoni, I just let it go here because it's just a load of crap. It really
oh
is.
yeah.
Yeah. So
And
that's my point.
what I really like about Andoni, and we was always going to spin it on to Bournemouth, is Andoni. If he was the wrong type of person Maybe that's a bit harsh, but if he was a different type of mentality, he could have turned around when we were doing so well last season and go, "Hey, Real Madrid, hey, whoever, I'm available. Look at how
Yeah,
well I'm doing."
but
But
he
he
wouldn't.
didn't. He
Yeah,
sticks to the task. That's what is perfect about him. And when the time comes, I hope he signs a new deal. If he doesn't, then that's entirely up to him. But I'm not going to. I know that there's loads and loads and loads of fans that are going on about this. Of course, after James Hill, I saw it all over X. We're not even going to mention it because that's not how Andoni does things.
uh,
Um, I'm just going to quickly run through the rest of the comments as well because it's got a bit crazy. And hello to everybody as well on Instagram as well. We'll give you all a shout out in a second. Doug says, Matt, I am doing well, thank you. Paul from Oz says Canada's goal against Wales was brilliant. Free kick on par with Unal's, really worth a look. There we are. Chris knows my love for the in-betweeners. But it's friend, Premier League friends. You've never seen it, have you, Malcolm?
no, I haven't. You lost me.
I'm going to get you the box set. I'm going to
No
get you the
thanks.
box.
No thanks.
God, it probably costs about £3 nowadays, to be honest, because nobody watches DVDs. It's all on 4 on demand, and but you can't get 4 on demand, I guess, in Germany. So yeah, I'll
No.
send it over. Send it over. It's for a desired taste, let's say, for people that are mad like me and Chris. Doug has said hi to Chris. I reckon Potter or Amarim will be next. Um,
Who knows? Who knows?
if I was hedging my bets, I think Amarin is probably on borrowed time with how that club are being ran at the moment, which is everybody thought it was going to be a lot better at Manchester United. Once the new owners come in and Ineos come in, I don't think it possibly is going to be. More like James Corden, Doug. To be honest, I've got some lookalike sites, but no interest as yet. Chris has Chris has compared me to Paddy. Matt's comparing me to James Corden. You know who that is, Malcolm.
No.
Gavin and Stacey.
No. I don't see any British TV or anything like that here.
Oh, he used to do the late night show in America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Google it afterwards. Supposedly that's my lookalike. But, Matt.
Obviously, I'm not missing out at all, am I?
No, not really. Although, Matt, you are, David Brent. Matt is David Brent by far. You've seen The Office, haven't you, Malcolm? Come on.
No.
We'll pass. I love that, Matt. Says Doug. All right, Doug. Chris says. And I hope Nuno does get another.
Football. Right.
Yes, we got some football. I hope Nuno does get another job for at least 2 years. If Andoni was to leave us, Nuno would be a good reply. I don't even want to think of Andoni leaving.
No.
He's our manager.
Me
So
neither. Me
yeah,
neither.
let's move on from that. Dan, I think Potter is on a sugary peg. There we are.
Yeah.
He's got the look of Ken Dodd in my opinion.
Oh, please.
Everybody's comparing me to all these, what do you call it, celebrities now. We dodged a bullet with Potter, methinks. And Ken Dodd dead? I think he is, isn't he? Sorry if I've killed off Ken Dodd, but I'm sure he's dead. I'll have to have a look now.
I wish somebody had warned me about all this today.
Yeah. You knew he was coming on with me. Nuno, to be honest, had no chance. Look at last season, 8 points ahead in the Champions League place. Still qualifies for Europe. Not a great start, but did he deserve the sack? I don't think so. 100%.
I agree. I mean, we all looked at Forest, didn't we, last season and said, wow,
Yeah.
we were expecting them to break. and they didn't. They just kept going and going. But they were really good. They were really good to watch.
I tell you what, Marinakis has to be the strangest chairman in the top flight. Why? And I thought it was so disrespectful how he come on the pitch and seemed to be having a go at Nuno Espirito.
Yeah. I didn't get it either. I didn't get that either.
And the
There must
manager
have been,
shrugged it off, didn't he?
like I said, it should have been all done behind closed doors.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. 100% Chris not recovered from his time at Chelsea. That's with regards to Potter. Ange Ball wins nothing. We met a poor Man United and it was own goal, says David Da Costa. Ange, though, I think will do well there. Ange wins the trophy, gets sacked. Nuno gets Europe, gets sacked. I still think Ange deserved the chance to manage Spurs this season. I do agree with that. Although I think they might be onto a bit of a winner with Thomas Frank. I know we don't like him, but I think they're onto a bit of a winner with Thomas Frank. Spurs, even though we beat them, I think they'll do quite well.
There's certainly a big improvement. We did dominate them, but it's only 3 games in, Craig. That's the point. And obviously, with the transfer window, they got players in, and was it Simmons they got in? Was the last player, so it's probably the one player they actually wanted that will see them going forward. They're going to be good. There's certainly a big improvement on last season, and every club is going to have an off day. You have to look at it that way. Yes, we'd love it to be, if we could play the next 30 games like we did against Tottenham, look where we would be. Yeah,
we'd probably win the league.
It ain't gonna happen. There's just too many things that happen in football which dictates, So, but enjoy the moments, and that's what you got to do.
It happened for Chris and Leicester, though.
Can we move on?
Yes. But then again, David makes a good point about the final 2 poor sides. Yeah, Man United, I'm surprised they even got there. Doug says, could it be the fact that Ange's half Greek, that Marinakis has gone for him? Nice easy start for Ange, Arsenal away.
That's going to be a pretty cool one, isn't it?
Yeah, former Tottenham manager going straight to Arsenal away. Sean said, can't remember the last time a manager was sacked who was so successful. Wonder if the new manager doesn't start well. Will any players force a move? Never used to be a thing, but not so much these days. I tell you what, I think Steve Cooper, did get sacked, by Forest, when they should have kept hold of him. In all honesty, I think Steve Cooper was doing a decent job. And of course, because of the amount of turnaround of players there, it was a little bit ridiculous. But that's from an honest Spurs fan. I will take the gift. Doug said, there's only 4 likes, people, 16 people watching. Please press the like and subscribe button. And anybody on Instagram as well, please do come over to the YouTube channel. Trust Craig to bring up Malcolm's pet hate about Andoni leaving. Trust the process. Agree. Yes. I'll shut up, Malcolm.
Thank you.
You give me a telling off. Doubt if Andoni will ever manage Real Madrid. Remember where Andoni comes from. But then again, Vallecano is in Madrid. We don't want to do it.
No, can we move on?
Yeah,
please.
Does Gary O'Neill know about Paddy's new love?
Oh dear,
Riola?
Chris, give it a rest.
Yeah. We'll move through these. Well said, Doug. Please hit the like, guys. Thank you all, says Matt. Don't tell Gary, Chris. Craig is still the chairman of the Gary O'Neill Appreciation Society. Chris has said LOL and the Brent dance. Right. I tell you what, let's come on to something cherries. And I tell you what, I've been waiting now 40 minutes to do this. I said I was going to bring it up quite early, Malcolm. I have been talking, randomly,
40 minutes long.
comments. But James Hill has signed a new contract with AFC Bournemouth until 2029. I am absolutely delighted for James, absolutely delighted for the football club, and I honestly see James Hill as somebody with a great future here at AFC Bournemouth. You know, what did you make of it when the news come out?
Really, really pleased. Really pleased. I rate him highly. Interesting enough, the pre-Tottenham game, wasn't it, that Andoni got asked about it, and he knew nothing. It was a surprise to him, and he actually said, "I want to keep him." So a lot has happened in a very short space of time, and they've actually tied him down till 29, along with Tab and Antoine.
Mm.
Let us go, boys. Let us go. Yeah,
Yes.
great to have him signed for so long. Yeah, I like him as a player, and he is just going to improve. Obviously, the more minutes he plays, yeah, probably even be one of the standout players. If he can get regular game time, but
100%.
very reliable. They put him in at right back, didn't they, at Tottenham, and he showed what he's about. And if the players are adaptable, playing in different positions, then that's only a plus for them all, because that's what Andoni likes to do, and it gives him nice options. Sometimes a headache, but hey ho.
Well, got some comments here about James Hill. Morning all. Wasn't sure about James Hill when he first joined, but he has grown into a quality player who can play fullback and central defence. And do you
That's
know
Peter,
what?
isn't it? Yeah. Morning, Peter.
Yeah, Peter, I tell you what, spot on. Absolutely spot on. When he first signed for AFC Bournemouth, it was like we're signing a defender from Fleetwood Town. I was like, that, you know, but it was like a Bournemouth signing of old, and I like those signings. I kind of miss those signings as well, where we just pluck these players from, obscurity. You look at the team that won, the championship back in 2015. Charlie Daniels, Steve Cook, all these players just come together to make a whole. And James Hill has shown how good a player he is, not just in that central defensive role, but like you say, Pete, as fullback as well. So I agree 100% with that comment. Um,
It doesn't really matter where they come from, Craig. It's what ability do they have?
yeah,
And Bournemouth wouldn't get somebody in if they're not proven or have potential.
and it's the ability to learn as well.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
we're bringing in the
obviously.
right
Yeah.
personalities, we've got a manager who we've brought in who is the right personality, somebody who's always learning, somebody, Eddie Howe used to be like that, as well, where, always learning on the job, always evolving, and used to like evolving players. And James Hill for Andoni is a project, and I think he's done fantastically well. And like you say, there is other players that go the other way as well, of course, but we don't actually seem to bring those players in anymore. Um, you know, the last one I honestly could say, which was a bad signing, was Jordan Ibe. Somebody who had bags of potential, was, everybody saying his praises, and he's ended up at Hungerford Town. I know that he's had a lot of struggles, in his career, and, we think of him with regards to that respect, but, it's such a shame because he had abundance of talent. Um, but, James Hill, of course, started from a lower level. Of course, Jordan Ibe come from Wycombe, didn't he, originally? But the thing is, um, you know, I think James has done a fantastic job. And Sean here has said, I'm glad for the club and Hill with the current players stepping up and new signings. It will be hard for Hill to get minutes, I reckon. I don't think so. I think Hill
I
get.
don't think so either. I
I
think
think,
he will. I think he will get put in.
yeah, agree, 100%. Matt has said, good move, but I think after recent performances and signings, squad player at best. Shame after such a good pre-season. I actually think he will be an honestly I actually think he'll get more game time than everybody thinks. I honestly do.
You
Honestly
could well
do.
be right.
Sean said I did actually did put him down as a breakout star for the season at the beginning. Yeah, I got to agree. He was somebody I wanted to start the first game, and and I thought, you know, he's a very very good talent. He's a very good talent, and somebody who I think will play a big part this season. James Hill is solid and dependable. Has been pitched against the best in the league and has always held his own. Yep, Darren's spot on there. Would you agree?
Definitely, definitely.
We have got Paul Sand. He said, will he get much game time though, unless there is injuries? I think he will. I think he will.
Well, this is a point I made earlier about things that happen through a season. Obviously, injuries is one. The second is
Yeah.
suspensions, etc. And then obviously we've got FA Cup. Hopefully, a decent run there. Some of these players who maybe squad players, fringe players, whatever, they will get the minutes. And with the new guys that have come in, they will need to get minutes as well. So, yeah, the coming weeks are really, really interesting. I'm quite excited about it all, to be honest with you. Really excited.
Darren has said we have a bench of for the Forest season could be considered as first team players. Sorry, we have a bench for the first season could be considered as first team players. Bloody predictive texting, Darren. Yeah, I agree. When you look at our bench, it's quality. It's quality. And Vardy came from a very low club.
Yeah.
Yes, he comes from Fleetwood Town himself. Of course, where James Hill come from. Agree with Paul. Injuries, then he may get minutes. Squad player. I think he could push his way in. I honestly do. I honestly do. James Hill, 23 years old. I thought he was younger. Honestly, guys, I actually think, and it'll be quite good to get different opinions on this, but I honestly think that James Hill will be a big player for us. He looks assured. He doesn't look rash. Um, there is an abundance of talent in this squad. Like Matt says here, let's be realistic. He's not pushing Diakite or Senesi out of the
No,
back.
he won't.
Right back, Jimenez for me in the absence of Smithy. Yeah, potentially, but at the same time, I don't think that Senesi had the greatest of pre-seasons. Now, I think it's a good option to have James Hill, but also be able to play James Hill in that position that Jimenez is no doubt going to take. I think he's got a very good future here. The one I would actually question, and I would say he's probably going to find himself leaving the club very soon, is Julian Arejo.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I I feel I feel sorry for kind of turning around and saying I don't think a player is going to be up to it. But in honesty, Julian Rejo is very fast. He's very pacey. But what he's actually there for as a right back, I don't think he does particularly very well.
No.
And if Andoni, and I don't think Andoni holds grudges. A bit like Eddie Howe, because let's be honest, if Eddie Howe, held a grudge, he'd be straight through the door at Newcastle, and Ryan Fraser would be going straight back out of it, flying head first. But I think, to be honest, Andoni probably doesn't hold grudges. but there has to be a point where you look at that Brentford tackle. And I know some people on X said that that was never a second yellow card. I honestly, taking my Bournemouth hat off for a moment, let's take that off for a moment. If that was another team and I watched that game, I would have said that was a straight red. Um, he didn't put his foot onto the side of the ball. He actually went over the ball. Now, I don't understand why you would make that over the ball motion. And I think it was an absolutely terrible tackle, in all honesty. And I think it was a straight red. Everybody's got opinions, but I think the
Yeah,
red
I mean,
was pretty rash.
you mentioned about Senesi, pre-season. I say you got to got to forget pre-season. We moved on. Had 3 games already. Excellent performance against Tottenham. And that's the level we want Senesi at, and I think he will, continue to play, at that level.
Agree. And Matt said pre-season. Who cares? Senesi was in the team of the
Yeah,
week after Spurs. Yeah, most definitely.
yeah,
The
you've got to
talking
move
about,
on from that, Craig.
yeah, I guess it's getting that rust off after the summer as well. So yeah, maybe I'm being a bit harsh on Marcos there. So yeah, apologies to Marcos or Kelsey if you are watching. But Marcos, lovely guy as well. I've actually spoken to him on several occasions. Very, very nice chap as well. James Hill will start against Brighton due to Smithy's injury. Yeah, Paul, I see that. Unless we play Jimenez there. But yeah, it'll be a very, very good discussion for Friday. Who do you go with? Do keep in mind we have got our Dean Court social coming up as well. So I will let Matt make the call on that one. And who would you drop to play Hill? That's the difficulty, isn't it? Really.
I'm going to give my starting lineup tomorrow with Ollie. All right, so
Yes. Sounds
I've,
good.
I've got a couple of ideas already, and do a bit of juggling in my brain this morning, I think. Yeah.
Do you just go with the team that beat Spurs though? That's the other question.
It's always a good question, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a
But
winning team.
since then, other players have been thrown into the equation. So watch this space.
And he is the future and can read the game. He's great in the air, both defence and set pieces. There's a lot of love for James Hill in here, in this chat this morning, and I think his performance against Tottenham he could get a chance to cement his place at right back. Also with Smithy's injury, but usually when we sign players, they get in the team pretty quick under Andoni. Yeah, I think Andoni knows what he wants, and Frano and Thiago go out and get them. So yeah, I think that's why he's always looking to take us up another step. And in Andoni we trust. In Andoni we trust.
Absolutely.
I can't
Absolutely.
turn around and say, well, that Andoni's made any mistakes. I'm not making that mistake again myself. Agree, Matt, says Paul. And 10 p.m. kickoff against Brighton for me in Perth. So we'll be well
Inebriated.
inebriated by then. Right.
Why
Okay.
so late, Darren?
Is that on the old Castle Main? Is it?
Sorry?
Is that the Castle Main? Inebriated. What does inebriated mean?
Drunk.
Drunk. Oh, yeah, you'll be drinking the old Castle Maid. There we are. Just put the word drunk. At the end of the day, you are talking here to somebody who is clearly intelligent in Malcolm and somebody who's got the brain of the size of a pea in me. So, yeah, sorry. There is points. I've done that all through my life. What the bloody hell does that word mean? But yeah. And have a great day, everybody, says Chris Hubble. And I think
You
that's
too, Chris.
probably where we need to end, really, because I better go and do some work in a moment. Keep myself busy, keep the bills getting paid. and also be able to get the beer in for Saturday.
Yeah, okay.
Malcolm, it's always a lot of fun when we come on here together, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all right. I try and pull you in occasionally. You get a little bit sidetracked.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's all in good fun, and yeah, it's always great to be on.
Well, if you like this show, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell button. Malcolm's going to be back tomorrow. I won't be, so you're probably all relieved about that. Malcolm's going to be back tomorrow with somebody who doesn't get as sidetracked as me and Ollie. So, yes, do make sure that you tune in for that. But have a great day, everyone. Up the cherries. Yep. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a great day, everyone in the chat. Yeah, and up the cherries.
TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
I should be like you, Mel.